Well, welcome to Conscious Gatherers. Tonight's episode is number 104, and today's date is October 3rd, 2023. And my name is Beverly Thompson, and I'm here with AJ Royce.
Good evening, everybody.
Well, as always, we have more to share and talk about exciting times. Very interesting what's gone on in the last few days. We're seeing a lot. And we're wondering why things aren't happening the way we thought they would. And I just think there's a bunch of BS out there. And so that's what I'm feeling, that it is being shown for what it is, and for all of us to really wake up and understand the activities of what's going on, not only in what we term the outside world, but within us, and how we're reacting to it. And you're acting, reacting, judging, all of those things. And we're going to start seeing ourselves throughout this whole process of what many are calling awakening, awakening to our conscious self, or becoming more conscious.
What I've been noticing about myself is that I get caught up in things when my energy is low. So just as a heads up to everybody, please take care of yourselves. Get enough rest. Make sure you're nourishing yourself correctly, and just be kind to yourself. Do things that are nourishing for your inner self, so you can keep your energy up and not be swayed by outside things.
Good point. So, okay. I was going to say something. I lost it.
Been there, done that.
That happens too. But if you are feeling a little bit like, oh crap, this is going on, and blah, 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 blah. And then what comes to me, and we've repeated this numerous times on this show, and I'm going to say it again. What are you going to do about it? So what we can do is really work on ourselves. And the more that we speak up for our own sovereignty, our own freedom, the more that other people are going to speak up in the same vein. And I don't know how that can be stopped when all of us are in this together, and to understand we have a beautiful world. We already have a beautiful world, but let's clean out the crap. So it is getting cleaned out.
Goodbye, crap.
All right. No, both Royce and I have more communication with our higher selves, if you want to call it as such, guides. I don't even
Insights.
Yeah, it's our insight. So we're going to share that today or tonight, and then we'll talk a little bit more about this after we finish, or while we're talking. Something comes up. Please say something. I'm talking to Royce and all of you, and as you're listening to us too, so you can start seeing within yourself what's going on. Even though we're talking about things that are going on in the outside world, but we're finding out the outside is inside. So, hope that makes sense. All right. But just remember, even though we're going through a lot of crap right now, we're realizing a lot of the crap that's going on, that it will end. And I've received it today, but in numerous insights, I've heard the word jubilation. Yeah. And now I'm hearing a lot of people say jubilee, and I think that might be some biblical passage. But the word jubilation, because it's a word I usually don't use, and dancing in the streets, yes, I do that. But I've gotten that quite a few times. So just know that that true freedom is around the corner as we let go of all these old programs.
Yeah, but the old stuff has to come out to the surface so we can see it and understand it for what it is. And we're the ones who went to sleep, so it's our own doing as well. So, that's a process. Processes take a little bit of time. So let's get this thing done and do it right.
And as you understand ourselves and some of the actions that we've taken in the past, be kind to yourself.
Yes.
A lot of us have been in that same boat. That's part of our understanding the duality programs, all of this. We all done it. We've all been a part of it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here at this moment. And that's to experience everything.
Yeah, we're the way that we're wired as human beings. We're wired to respond to contrast, and that translates to a world of extremes. And so I believe with all my heart that through our evolution onward and upward, that space in between those two extremes will become more and more narrow until it is a one, not just oneness, but one. There won't be any need to notice extremes. It's like sometimes we get caught up in it. It's like, oh, I'm so sad. Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so sad, so happy. It's bouncing all over the place, and it's just, it wears you out, really. So it's much more peaceful to be in that place of one. So let's work toward that.
Yeah, the one word that comes to me is the balance. And so the balance of the extremes. So,
but even with the word balance, that it's like a teeter-totter. It's like that thing in the middle, that pivot in the middle, but it can still be, go down from side to side.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe one of these days we won't have to be on that teeter-totter.
Yeah.
The seesaw.
We see anything we saw. There'd be something to that. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to share what information that came through today. And I want to explain a little bit first about the first item I'm going to touch upon. And first of all, the words I got for this, for what I'm sharing, is called the stirring. So it's going on. We're being stirred, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think many of you do know and understand of some of the child trafficking that's gone on. We have talked about it a few times on these podcasts. There's been movies out on it, and The Sound of Freedom was one of the last ones. And there's another movie out called The Cages, and there have been some other ones that have been out in the past. So I do feel that this is definitely real because of some of the visions I've had starting a few years back.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, and I didn't know it went on until I started seeing stuff, and some of it I haven't really seen the really awful stuff, or if I start going there, I back off. I said I really don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that a lot of crap goes on, so I've been using that word tonight.
Yeah.
So this first thing I want to share has to do with the child trafficking and what are called the DUMBs, and it stands for Deep Underground Military Bases. And that doesn't mean to me that all these tunnels that are throughout the earth, by the way, are military bases.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
No, I think they've been there for many, many years. Humans down there, as well as some more non-humans that have been part of this earth for many, many years, and many of them are leaving or have left. I think there are still some minions that are behind. So they're not very nice beings, put it that way. And let's say some of the the old Twilight Zone shows come to mind when they started showing this stuff. What back in the '60s, I believe. So I think a lot of it is real. Back then, we thought it was ridiculous, but we were all interested in it. And so here we are today, thinking, some of these movies really showed us a lot of what is going on.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what the dumb is. So I'm going to share. So the apparatus you call the dumbs are almost replete of occupants. And by the way, some of these, I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but anyway, some of these underground tunnels, they're miles deep.
Yeah.
Miles deep. And some of the children, some of them are born down there and they have never seen daylight. And then it's very hard for them to be on top of the earth, or they don't live because their bodies have not adapted. It sounds pretty gross. So I don't know what else to say. It's the way it is. All right. But anyways, they're now almost replete of occupants. The strategy used has worked, and that is the use of force and fortitude by ones in our militaries. I'm thinking world militaries, by the way. Rehab centers are in use, and adoption proceedings will soon commence. Those not adopted, these children, these young, precious young ones, those not adopted will be in centers who are, and these centers are looking for volunteers who will simply show their love along with others that are also tutors. So help educate these young people. And the major thing that came out of this is please volunteer if you feel guided to do so. So it looks like that's all going to be shown, that this stuff is going on and that these children do need a lot of help. They're getting help now, but a lot of them are ones that have been more rehabilitated are going to be put up for adoption. And I think it's going to be quite a few different ages, very little babies up to the probably teenagers. And but they're all going to need lots of love and comfort. So those of you that feel led to work with these young ones, I feel that information will go out where you can sign up to do that. And as I was getting this message too, it doesn't mean that you have to do this full time. And even a couple hours a week is what I was hearing. It just be minimal time, but it's that love that you're going to give and that they're going to give it back too. So I think it's going to be a win-win situation for everybody. And I know it's going to be heartbreaking what these kids went through.
Yeah.
But to remember that they're being removed from that, and some of their memories will also, I think, will disappear. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but there's ways to do that.
I totally hope so.
Yeah, I understand we can be blank slated. That's the term that's used. And some of these children, that may happen because some of the atrocities are pretty bad. All right, the next part of this whole equation that I received today is the following. The house of cards is indeed falling in many of your countries. Slavery systems are and will be shown. Again, be kind to your neighbors, as many people will be shocked when the gates are open, exposing all the corruptions and corruptors. This train is on a fast track, and there will be no messing around while exposing the truth. Observe yourselves and let go of your old misperceptions. There are no good old days. People say, I remember the good old days. And what I'm hearing, maybe not so much. So, eyes are opening to new frontiers, and allow yourself some downtime, then get going. I heard that get going. It's like, okay. There is a need for love and acceptance and total responsibility of self.
Hear, hear.
Yeah. Do you have any comments?
Just hear, hear. I like that.
Yeah. So the house of cards is falling, and that terminology, we're actually hearing it a lot. And I remember getting that information years and years ago, thinking, okay, what does this really mean? And that, the old systems are failing. Those that have been at the controls, they don't have a leg to stand on anymore.
Yeah, the support systems are being dissolved because it's just not being tolerated anymore.
Yeah. I'm going to bring this up, and that includes our financial system.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're seeing a lot of changes in our financial systems. Yeah, I've heard a lot about there's going to be a collapse, there's going to be this, there's going to be that. However, when I say that, that's what I understand is going to be and is a collapse of the old fiat system, and meaning they're printing money out of air, and nothing to back it, and the gold standard or asset-backed standard will be utilized throughout the world. And so it's coming together of all the countries, appreciating each other for who and what they are, using their own currencies, or it's not going to be so much on the U.S. dollar. So it's okay because that new system's coming into play, and it'll be you're going to find a little more equality throughout the world in the financial realm. Right? Is that, do you have more to add?
No, I don't. I think you said it pretty well.
All right. To finalize what I received today, I thought this was fun. They said I heard the sky is falling, but not in the sense of Chicken Little. Know that little story? The sky is falling, the sky is falling. And so they're saying, but then I heard new skies are bursting forth as this planet Earth takes on its new role of sovereignty of nations, brought together in harmony and joy. So much more to come. The excitement is building. We are watching as all unfolds to expose the richness of each one of you. That's all of us.
Yeah.
We're finding the power that we truly are. So it's really pretty cool when you start looking at this whole thing.
Yeah. So when you think about freedom, it's like the thing that's missing is bondage and servitude. Somebody or something having power over you and using you. That those days are coming to a close pretty quickly.
I don't think we even realize how much that we have been controlled.
Yeah, it's everywhere, really, throughout our society, and we live in a pretty good place.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I've heard, some things that may get worse before they get better, but, I'm not seeing it get that bad, actually. And I think it depends upon our own emotional and mental states of being. And that is to, keep your chin up, that things are getting better. These things are coming out. Yeah, your jaw may drop and like aghast of what we're seeing.
But don't fall for the fear mongering.
Yeah, because that's going to pull your energy right back down.
Yep.
And so, it's what you don't want. And if your energy does go down, what you said at the beginning of the podcast.
Do what you have to do to nurture yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. If it be go outside, to get an ice cream cone, whatever it may be, just something that.
Put your feet in the grass.
Yeah. And then say thank you.
Yeah.
And gratitude for it.
Really, going into that gratitude thing, I mentioned that either last time or the time before. When things feel really bad, just even if you don't feel it at first, start thinking of something to give thanks for. Thank you for having a napkin to be able to wipe my face with. Thank you for a fork to eat with. Just start with really simple things, and before you know it, your heart will be in it, and that sense of gratitude will fill you up.
And ripple out.
Yeah.
Well, that goes into some of the stuff that you're going to be talking about So
I guess that's my cue.
it's your cue. All right, go for it.
Okay. Theatrical displays abound. Lies float through the air like dandelion seeds. But the flowers, oh, how they do grow and bloom. There is an ellipse of 8:5 ratio within the studies of esoteric studies, within the studies of esoterics, sorry. The ellipse makes reference to the evolutionary process. As an ancient axiom refers, first the stone, then the plant, then the animal, then the man, and finally the God. But along that elliptical path, is one phase any more important than another? I'm reminded of an insight I had several years ago concerning that ellipse. I saw mankind on the right-hand side of the ellipse, toward the upper part of the shape. Mankind looked over at the stone on the other side of the ellipse and saw it as something to be trodden upon. But the stone looked back at mankind and said, "Look at you, O mankind, who thinks so highly of himself. Do you not know that a mountain is made of stone? You stand over there, high upon your mountain, but if it was not for I, a lowly stone, you would have no mountain to stand upon." And so the next time we look upon the beauty of a flower, let us not forget what came before. Let us not forget the foundation and the firmament, the below and the above. For it takes both, that which is below our feet and that to which we aspire, to make this beautiful evolutionary circuit we call life. No part any better than any other, for all of it tells the story of God within the entirety of it all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That certainly goes into the ego mind, and still we're wonderful, great, powerful beings.
Yes, we are.
Know that.
Yes, but no part any less than any other. When we say that we're these wonderful, powerful beings, look outside and look at that tree. So is it. A beautiful, powerful being who respond to us and respond to each other and respond to everything around them. They talk. They have emotions. They are alive and conscious. And it's really quite heartbreaking to know that some people just have such disregard for them. It's just all they're there for is to create shade for us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. They make the soil, you know? They're incredible beings.
So they are. We were talking about trees earlier. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. You were saying some of the trees that in your yard.
Yeah.
That they want you to touch them.
Yeah. I'll be walking by, have something else on my mind, and it's like I can feel them grab for me. It's like, please don't walk by without reaching out and touching me. And so I don't care who's looking. I'll go over and hug it, but really hug it like I was hugging my best friend. You know, when I feel it, I know the tree feels it, because it keeps asking for more.
Yeah. just like an animal, actually. When you have a kitty or a dog or whatever, and they want to be recognized, they want to be touched or petted or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Some of them don't. But like I did have a snake charge at me the other day, and I thought, I ran.
But maybe you were too close to its babies. You never know.
I didn't go back to look, put it that way. But to realize the aliveness of everything, and I think we even talked about plants, even your house plants, that they want to hold hands.
Yeah, I've got an orchid that it loves to hold hands. And what I mean by hold hands is I cup the leaf in my hand, and you can actually feel something there. You can feel the consciousness in the plant.
Yeah, it knows it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it some people will be drawn to a plant, and they'll say how beautiful it is, and then will you ever take a look at a child? They have to touch it.
Yeah.
They have to touch everything. And it's because everything is alive to them, too.
Yeah.
And so you can just see their amazement, when they're looking at a plant, and they definitely want to get in with it, It's interesting that I didn't thought about that until just now. But, yeah, I mean, watch our little ones.
Yeah, they'll lead you to where it's at.
Yeah, that's one of the first things we say, don't touch that. And
and they look at you like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's like, why not? And it's like, and it's true, why not?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously you don't want something broken, but they're just enamored by beautiful things, and let them look. And if they gently touch, that's okay too. At least it is in my book.
Yep.
Yeah,
Just to make sure that it's not one of the poisonous plants, because some of the ornamentals are, and just keep those out of the way. Mm-hmm. But the ones that aren't poisonous, they're just, I mean, you can feel yourself being nurtured, and you can tell by the response of the plant and its overall health, excuse me, that it's being nurtured as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I thank you all for listening this evening. Yeah. Well, things are happening, guys. The stirring. So we're definitely getting stirred up. And not sure what all happened today, but today is the 3rd. And I understand we have an EBS tomorrow. And I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah, that's Emergency Broadcast System.
Oh, thank you. So there's a lot of things going on, and I think it's a precursor to something else that's going to be a little bit bigger. But we've been getting information that there are going to be some big things happening, and there are. What they all are, one is, or our bodies are changing, our Earth is changing, our solar system is changing, and even our galaxy is changing. Is changing. It's changing. So it goes on and on and on. The micro, the macro, if you want to look at it that way. And so we're going to start looking at space a little bit different. That what I get, the skies are bursting forth as this planet Earth takes on a new role of sovereignty and of nations, and that is sovereignty of nations. That could be nations on this earth, but as well as the different types of people that are on this earth, different races of people. We're all in this together. We all came here to do our thing, and it's time for us to really get on with it in peace and love.
Yes, and things have to change all the way around, because it's all evolving. We're going to that next step, so it has to change.
Yes, it does. So, all right. Any last words?
Yes. Bev and I went to visit a neighbor just a few minutes ago before the podcast started, and I lovingly referred to him as Ronnie Baby. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to Ronnie Baby. Your healing is taking place rather nicely, and I'm very pleased. And I just want you to know that you've got our love behind you, and we support you, and your beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous wife.
Oh, how sweet. That it just reminds me of a lot of people are going through health issues, and I think those things are coming up for each one of us to look at our own bodies and what we're putting into our bodies, how we're reacting to things, because it affects our health. And what else? It's just become more aware of our physical vessel that we're in.
Yeah, and some of you might be feeling some body aches a little bit more right at this particular time, and it's quite a natural thing to be feeling right now, with things being bubbled to the surface. There are things in our physiology as well being bubbled to the surface, so that we can address it and send it on its merry way and get on with it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, many people refer to these as ascension symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so some of us are sleep a lot. Some of us don't sleep much, or maybe sleep one night and not the next night, which happens to me. And certain foods that were once very appetizing no longer are, especially a lot of the junk foods, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do them anymore. They don't make me feel good, so I don't go there. But just be aware and be good to yourself. Treat yourself with kindness.
Yeah, drink plenty of water.
Yep.
Hear that, Ronnie, baby?
All right. All right. Well, thank you all, and we'll be back on October the 17th, and see what else. I say this every time. See what happens in the next 2 weeks, but shoot, a lot has been going on.
Yeah.
A lot. Look in the skies. I mean, spaceships and or UFOs or what do they call them?
UAPs.
UAPs, yes, and they're being seen everywhere. I mean, all kinds of weird stuff that a lot of people think it's weird. After a while, it's like, not so weird, because it's just like, other beings are all part of this whole thing, and they're coming forward.
Yeah, we can't ignore them anymore.
No, and it might be some of our own military that, have all this.
Some of it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, have a lot of advanced technology that we had no idea that they had this, but they do. And that's we. So when I say they, it's we. So all of this is, I think, being exposed now, and it's like, wow. So we're going into a technological era, but that doesn't mean AI.
That's right.
And it's where technologies assist us in our physical level, not take on our physicalness. So to me, that gets a little bit dangerous. But anyway, that's all going on right now, and I think there's a lot more to come. New inventions are coming. That free energy, seeing all of this, and I'm hearing it too. I think there's going to be a lot coming out for freedom of ourselves and this earth. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. All right. Thank you, and we love you all.
Yes, we do very much, and thank you for staying.
All right. And good night.
Good night.